Nagini, Voldemort's faithful serpent, sidekick, and a venomous and merciless killer. The snake from your worst nightmares. As the wizarding world expands, we now know that there is more to the snake than first met the eye. We now know that she started off good and kind, a friend to Credence and a helper to Albus Dumbledore. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm your Harry Potter loving host, Rebecca Felgate, and I love it when I get to answer Harry Potter questions. Join me as we slither into this video and I ask, what if Nagini was real? Before we answer this slippery question, I want to ask you guys, what is your Hogwarts house? And what's your favourite fantastic beast? My house is Slytherin and my favourite beast is the Niffler, obviously. If you guys are into Harry Potter, I have a Harry Potter YouTube channel, just search Rebecca Felgate and you will find it. Okay, Nagini. What if Nagini was real? What would this mean? Well, let's look on the plus side before we're taken down by her large, infamously venomy fangs. If she was real, this would mean that the entire wizarding world was real too, right? If so, what is a killer snake between friends? If you don't mind me, I'm gonna be patiently waiting for the owl with my Hogwarts acceptance letter. No? I have to finish the video? Okay, but after that I will be intercepting that owly post. So if Nagini was real, this would mean that humans could transform into animals, which is pretty massive if you think about it. Nagini was a maledictus, which basically meant that she was the carrier of a blood curse that doomed her to ultimately transform into a beast. In the earlier part of her life, she enjoyed the same perks of being an animagus, someone who could transform into an animal at will, but eventually her fate was to become an animal and she became a snake. So my question is, if Nagini was real and maledicti are real, then would this mean that there are other people out there suffering the same curse? Have you ever looked into the eyes of a particularly knowing cow, or felt like that fly buzzing around you in your room is trying to tell you something? Because maybe they are. I wonder what other blood curses are out there too. Are we powerless to stop them? Nagini certainly seemed so. If Nagini were real, this would mean that parcel tongues are real and people could speak to snakes. Imagine all of the secret chambers that could be unlocked with a simple hiss. If parcel tongue is real, then maybe there are other animal languages that we could learn. The problem is with parcel tongue is that it allows humans to control animals. Even if Nagini were real, well, we all know who was controlling her. Lord Voldemort. What other nasty wizards would be out there using language to control animals to do their biddings? Nagini was also telepathic. She was able to communicate with her Dark Master even when they weren't together. She also managed to taunt Harry Potter's dreams, with the boy who lived actually inhabiting part of her brain and seeing events through her eyes. Telepathic animals with human consciousness and the ability to be controlled by evil schemers sounds pretty scary, as if snakes weren't worrying enough. If Nagini was real, you would not want to be bitten by her. Like a lot of ferocious snakes, she is venomous, although her venom is magical and pretty deadly. When she bit Arthur Weasley, he was in St. Mungo's hospital for months because of her venom. It didn't allow for his wounds to heal. It was all very well that Arthur was in a magical hospital, but if she bit a muggle, then we would likely bleed out and die without much hope of being saved. For all of Nagini's scary qualities, she does have some good too. While her venom is worrisome, it does also have healing properties. When Voldemort was reborn, it was partly a magical component to her venom that restored him to health. And while what I'm about to say is very gross and very disturbing, she could also be milked. Ugh, milking a snake. So gross! Her milk was able to sustain Voldemort and help him grow strong again, allowing him then to have another shot at life. So, for all of her bad traits, Nagini could be harnessed for good. We know from Fantastic Beasts that she started out good. Perhaps when her blood curse took full hold, that was when she was drawn to the dark side. If she was real, maybe we could try and level with her. She does after all have human consciousness, and we could try and convince her to do good again. Now, that sounds all very well and good, and I would love to welcome Nagini back to the light side, but the only awkward issue is, the little thing of her being a Horcrux. Nagini contains a little part of Lord Voldemort's soul. If she was real and alive, sadly that would mean that she would need to be killed if not the Dark Lord could return. It would be a shame to kill her because we know that she has good in her, but you know what? needs must. The trouble would be finding her and capturing her. She can basically hide anywhere. Nagini had the ability to inhabit human bodies. Remember that horrifying scene in Godric's Hollow where she waits for Harry, Ron and Hermione inside Bathilda Bagshot's corpse? Yeah, I'm actually never gonna forget that. Capturing her would be a task beyond pest control, or beyond the highest trained zoologists. What we would need is the best magi-zoologist. We would need Newt Scamander. But then, could he kill a former ally? As we know, he never met a beast he couldn't love. The real question with Nagini is, well, who is she? Who cursed her, and what made her turn from Dumbledore's side to becoming the sidekick of one of the most evil wizards of all time? Perhaps we will find out in the next Fantastic Beasts, but for now, we can all but wonder. So what would you guys do if Nagini was real? Should we do more magical snake questions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. While you're down there, why don't you leave a thumbs up and share this video with a magical loving friend? And if you love a good snake, you're not going to want to miss out on our future videos, click on that notification bell. Before I get out of here, I just want to keep it snaky by reading some comments from my most recent video, What If Medusa Was Real? What are jokes these days without an emoji? Nothing, I tell you. I loved this comment from Beyond Tubular. They wrote, Medusa looks at me. Me. I love it. So good. Lol Lil wrote, does Medusa comb her hair or snake hair? Do you know what? That's a pretty good question. We could probably turn that into a whole video. What would happen if Medusa brushed her hair? Hissy. ISXOL wrote a disturbing but very interesting comment saying, does Medusa have snakes with pubes too? Do you know what? I never thought of that. Maybe tiny, little, angry snakes. Okay, this video's gone to a weird place, so I'm gonna have to leave. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.